Right, Joe. So for everyone watching at home, please tell me a little bit about yourself. Who are you?
My name's Joe Boogren. I was born and raised in Gwin. I spent 32 years in the Navy, 10 as an enlisted guy, and then 22 as an officer. During that time, I commanded a U.S. Navy base, commanded a National Security Agency research station, and had the privilege of leading young American men and women in whole combat operations in Kosovo and particularly in Iraq and Afghanistan. I moved back to Gwin upon my retirement in 2012. Since then, I've been on the Gwin Area Community Schools Board of Education, and for the last almost 6 years, the Township Supervisor of Forsyth Township, where I'm also an active volunteer firefighter.
Yeah, thank you for that. A little explanation there. So please tell me about how your background led you to running in this race.
Well, my late wife and I have 6 children and 11 grandchildren, and we believe pretty strongly in public service. And based on my experience in the school board and in the township, when approached about running this race, I gave it a deal of thought. At the time, I was very ill, since passed. We jointly made the decision that this was the right thing to do, and I am fully committed to being the representative for this district and making sure that the values and the concerns and the ideals of the central UP culture and its people are represented in Lansing.
Yeah, thank you. Now for a big topic here. So following the last general election, there's a lot of talk about democracy being at risk through voting methods or the soundness of our elections. What are your thoughts on that in the past and moving forward?
I believe that our system of government is far more at jeopardy by false accusations about the legitimacy of our voting. I am personally, based on my past experience in the military, a very concerned individual and elected official about the false attacks on our voting system. As our voters know, a Republican senator by the name of Ed McBroom did a thorough investigation of this for the state of Michigan, reported back that there were no findings of mistakes or fraud. And I applaud him for his integrity and for his willingness to stand up and state the facts. That is the big lie, and I do not support it.
Sure. Yeah, thank you. And so moving on to another topic here. So if elected, what would you do to improve access to mental health care in the Upper Peninsula?
We have a mental health crisis of epic proportions going on in the United States, and it does not fail to touch us as well. I have met with some strong proponents of in the mental health industry, people who are private citizens within our district who have sadly had this touch their very doorstep. And at our schools, in our daily lives, and general access for all of us, the ability to secure a therapist, a counselor, a psychiatrist is very, very difficult. And we need to do something to affect change in that regard. And we also need to do anything we can do to remove the stigma associated with mental health disorders or mental health injuries, mental health brain injuries. We do have a number of people in our district who have suffered traumatic brain injuries, and their mental health issues related to that are significant. I'm happy to say that tomorrow night I will be in Gwin at the Model Town Inn supporting and speaking at a mental health and suicide awareness event that they are hosting.
Yeah, thank you. And now with the likelihood of abortion access being on the ballot in November, what's your stance on that proposal?
I support that. I think it's heinously ridiculous that we are in a circumstance in Michigan where unfortunate people who are take the route of an abortion, or medical professionals who perform it, are at risk of going to prison. That's a ridiculous assertion. And I would say that the Supreme Court is wildly out of touch with America on this issue and facts bear out that since 2009, abortions in the United States have decreased virtually every year. And for 20 years, the Democratic Party has put out a platform that would have eliminated 90% of abortions, and it was refuted by the Republican Party because it is the lightning rod that they use to drum up votes. I am obviously pro-choice. I have strong feelings about women's reproductive rights, and I believe that they are first and foremost a health issue between a woman and her care provider.
Yeah, thank you. So if elected, what would you do to improve access to care for seniors in the Upper Peninsula?
I don't demonstrably believe that there is a huge difference between whether you're 2 years old or 100 on healthcare. We are a rural area, and that the issue is places that are not adequately supported. I will tell you that in the further you get away from the central Marquette area, the more difficult, and particularly as you get into rural areas of Baraga, some areas of Elger County, and some areas in Dickinson County, for that matter, where those small clinics that are slowly decreasing, that's an issue, and that's an issue for everybody, and it's certainly more prominent among for the elderly. But I would say the same holds true for infants, infant care and child care.
Thank you. And Joe, this will be my last question. Do you have any message for undecided voters right now?
I would tell you to please consider looking closely at the candidates that you have to choose from. Look closely at their public service and the success or lack thereof in their elected positions. I'm proud to say that Forsyth Township is solvent and thriving and fiscally sound. And I intend to be a champion for smart fiscal spending when I am elected to this race. And I hope that everybody will get out and vote. Whether you vote for me or vote for my opponent, please exercise this fundamental right that is under grave attack in our country.
Great. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking some time to chat with me on this nice Friday.
It is a gorgeous day. Thank you, Jesse. I appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you.